Alright, broski, it's T, man, and I'm back with a new video on Jason Blaha strength and fitness. He says in 2023, the supplement industry exists only because consumers are too lazy to read the studies. Well, I beg to differ. I believe that the supplement industry exists because everybody's looking for the secret pill because nobody knows what built muscle in those days. They didn't understand. They thought that if you lift the weight, you build the muscle, but they discovered lifting weights don't build muscles. Yeah, you just get better at lifting weights. Just like you would get better at doing any sport. Yeah. All right, man, let's review this let's review this video and have a laugh.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here.
Yes, Jason, we know it's you drinking that Kool-Aid again. What's in that red drink?
Gotta chat with you guys again. Let me get a sip of my water.
No, bro, that's not water, because water doesn't look red.
A red water. You guys a 4-arm shot?
Oh, brother, here goes that forearm shot shit, kid. Oh, chicken arms. Yeah, sitting up close to the camera, bouncing your arm off bouncing your forearm there, like bent like that, showing it, makes it appear like it's big. Why don't you just stretch it out a bit? Let's see what it looks like, really, what it looks like. Oh, it's tiny. Chicken arms.
You know, I had someone say something, an older guy, my generation, in the comments. I was discussing supplements.
Older guy, your generation? I'm 10 years older than you.
And, he said, well, it's today's generation, they've got all this influence from the supplement companies, and so I can understand why they get taken in so easy, and it's like, no, I don't.
Yes, you do. You know, everybody's looking for the magic pill, like you, Jason. You, too, were looking for that magic pill, and that magic pill was testosterone, steroids, bro. Come on, don't lie, man. Listen, bro, I've been around for quite a while. I've been in that shit longer than you. As a teenager back in the 80s, I got into the magazines and bodybuilding and all. I read them, I seen them, but it wasn't so much into it. Not so much as to the late 80s and then 90s, I would say, probably mid to late. And then going on to the 90s, I'd buy magazines and see Kevin Levrone and, all these popular bodybuilders, whatever. Yeah, we knew they were on steroids because of Ben Johnson. People knew he got caught in the 80s. The word was out, bro. Steroids.
This is 2023. Okay? Right. We have...
Technically, we're practically in 2024. There's only a month left to the year, bro.
Google. I started doing this over 20 years ago. We didn't have Google. You want to know where we had to learn?
We had Yahoo in those days. What are you talking about? We had Web Crawler. We had Alta Vista. Bro, I remember the internet. It really became extremely popular in 97. It was already in the library system by 97. They had them equipped with it, with the internet. So what are you talking about? Even though it came out in like mid-90s, but it really took full force around 97, and it just kept growing like crazy. So I don't know what you're talking about. They had a lot of search engines, and there was a lot of information. One of the first steroid sites was anabolicsteroids.com, and then Elite Fitness showed up, and the majority of people on those boards, all they really cared about was steroids. They didn't really care too much. No. The cheesy people would chase after like the supplements, but they knew about steroids. Those boards were filled with steroids, cycles, where to buy them, how to get them, and they were actually easy to get still in those days. Even though the law passed, I think it was in 93 or 4, there was a law where it became illegal without prescription, even where I live. So, yeah, you could still. In Canada, technically, you could order it, mail order it, and it come to your address, and it's for personal use. You wouldn't get in trouble. But in the States, if you mail ordered it, you could get in trouble. The mailman or whoever's there, the police, they could come to your address and arrest you. Yeah, you sign for it, and they arrest your dog too if the dog signs for it. Yeah, man. So they have different laws in different countries. Canada, you could possession of it is legal for personal use. In America, is not. In Mexico, it is legal and also legal to buy without a prescription. You cannot buy it here without a prescription, but you can order it overseas, and it would arrive, and you wouldn't have an issue with it. So yeah, up to this day, you could still do it. However, these South American countries, they will not mail it to you. So you'd have to find some country that would mail it to you if you were in Canada. Now, a lot of people use what they call remailers in those days, I guess. They were using these remailers. Yeah, yeah, in these magazines, in the back, there were like some section there, people selling steroids at the back of the magazine. Yeah, they had these advertisings and whatever the hell, man, going on there. I don't know, whatever, yeah. You don't know what you're getting. It could be fake, a lot of it. After 93, when they passed a law that it was illegal, they started faking it, even in Mexico. You would buy it in a pharmacy. The shit was fake. A lot of people complained. Shit, they gave you fake shit. Even to this day, it's most likely fake in Mexico. The steroids they're selling you. Yeah.
Heard about supplements from a bodybuilding magazine. Every fourth page was a supplement ad.
Yeah, they would claim that these things built muscles. That's why they flew off the shelf. That's the whole point.
We got to read about how Dorian Yates stacked.
I bought the stuff that I really believed that would build the muscle, which was ridiculously dumb. I thought these things built muscles, like amino acids and things, and they aided definitely. If you're a young person, then you're increasing more. What it does is stimulate more growth hormone. Drinking these or eating these amino acid tablets. So amino acids, did they work? And you eating a regular, regular herbivore kind of meat diet, whatever you want to call it, mixed diet. Well, they tended to work on other people. We'd see results in the gym on some people, so we would try to mimic that. We didn't know what they were getting inside their muscles doing that. We weren't really sure. I mean, in your mind, you think, it got bigger, so he must have built a muscle, like pure muscle. It isn't inflammatory, or it wasn't sarcoplasmic, or whatever. You couldn't really tell. You weren't sure, but your diet definitely didn't match up that what would build a muscle, because people would eat carbohydrates, a lot of it. You could get really big eating carbohydrates and lifting, and you get an inflammatory response coming chronically to the gym. So yeah, people were seeking the magic pill in those days for sure.
6 different types of protein powder and amino acids, and that was the secret to his gains, not all the insulin that he stacked into with the growth hormone, right?
I don't know what he took. Do you know? You're making that up, man. You don't know exactly what he put in his body. He never said that. He said he took some stuff, this and that. Insulin destroys your physique, by the way. But we know that testosterone is not, it doesn't build muscle, but it itself is a sex hormone. It's not really building the muscle. I'm telling you, it's glycogen loading is what testosterone is doing. That's why when they give you testosterone shots, you're glycogen loading really fast. You feel a huge pump. Well, then they're going to say, well, it's the anabolic, so you can't just take testosterone. You can listen to these channels like Dr. James. He's on steroids, this guy called Dr. James. Look him up. He'll tell you the same thing. He'll say, oh, well, you can't just take testosterone because you'll get glycogen loading in the muscle. He'll say, well, you have to take anabolics with that too, because anabolics are what will build muscles. Well, you don't get much size on anabolics. Why is that? Again, it's glycogen loading, but it's a cutting drug. They use it as a cutting drug, anabolics. They themselves do not build muscle. So what builds muscle? Well, science tells you protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown to build muscle. So what builds muscle? Protein synthesis. And it needs to exceed that breakdown to actually build solid muscle. So I don't know how many people are exceeding that breakdown. That's the problem. And they constantly are eating a herbivore diet. This getting really massive, taking testosterone, is sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, because your muscle can hold a lot of it and it can blow up like a balloon. But building muscle itself, the mass on the myofibrillar, is extremely difficult. And it has a domain limit and things. And you have to push that domain so it can keep donating nuclei to keep synthesizing protein. But it will end at some point, even at that point. It won't go even higher than that. It's extremely difficult. And to push it, protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown. So even though every time you put on more weight, you have to keep compensating for the amount of real muscle that you do make. You have to compensate by eating more protein. You understand me? And to maintain that and to keep bypassing that. Yeah, that's why it's extremely difficult to build real muscles. That's why people say, well, he's a big guy, but he's not strong. Well, if he was a big guy with real muscles, he'd be super strong, for sure.
Dorian started the insulin era, bodybuilding. All right. Now we got to read all about the swamp algae with the myostatin inhibiting abilities and stuff that these guys, that was the secrets, right? We all didn't know any better, so it's like, well,
Yeah, I heard about that. Ral grow, this, that, myostatin stuff. You're going to suppress myostatin, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit.
this is my post-workout shake because we thought the anabolic window was real because the magazines told us.
Yeah, there's an anabolic window, and you need to eat these protein shakes. There is kind of an anabolic window. That's the protein synthesis window. There is an anabolic window. If there's some sort of a breakdown, then there will be a buildup. Now you're trying to exceed that breakdown. You have to exceed that breakdown. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. Get it? So it has to exceed that breakdown. What is that? Exceed it, maintain it, and increase it to build.
So, we needed 50 grams of whey protein isolate.
Man, have you ever measured out 50 grams what it looks like? 50 grams. You ever see a gram? 1 gram looks like a vitamin C tablet. Now, calculate 50 whatever grams here, 55 grams of like these tablets, what they look like lined up. It's very little. And grind it up in a powder and see what that looks like, a gram.
With 30 grams of glutamine and creatine thrown in, and then maybe some L-arginine and other stuff, some of these specific free amino acids.
Yeah, growth hormone releasers or stimulators to build muscle, yes. The truth is, food builds muscle.
It's 30 grams of glutamine post-workout.
Yeah, I don't know what era he's from. He's obviously 10 years behind me. So, yeah, I was on the internet already in 97 and trolling around there all the way from the millennium. They had this thing called GeoCities. You could find web pages on there. I actually had a web page on GeoCities. I had information, how I built my body. I put stuff on there. I don't know. They archived these so-called web pages. I could never find it again. Maybe it got erased. Who the hell knows? But I did have one with a bunch of pictures showing my body. I talked about stuff, and man, did I ever get hits, bro. You have a clue. In those days, it was shitty. You couldn't put videos up. So I could only put up pictures of myself, and then I would talk about, how, and show myself at a buffet eating, and how I was eating, how much I was eating, how much protein I would eat a day, for how many hours I would eat, I would constantly keep consuming throughout the day. If I didn't have, I didn't eat the best diet, but if I didn't have a chance to eat, let's just say I just kept wanting to be in an anabolic growth state. So I would go across the street, there was a donut shop, and I just wolfed down like 2, 3, 4, 5 donuts, had Coca-Cola, 2, 3 Coca-Colas, which was a mistake sometimes. I'd only do that once in a while. If it was late and I didn't have time, and I was out, it was dark, and I just had to keep wolfing down stuff. I'd usually go to the restaurant next door and eat there instead and eat some quality food, but occasionally I would wolf down a bunch of weird donuts and stuff just to keep that anabolic state that so it wouldn't go down. It would just keep being in a growth state constantly. But the mistakes you make, you learn from that. I wrote that in my GeoCities webpage. I wrote down some of the mistakes I made, my diet. I was never really quite sure. I did know about sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, eating potatoes, but I knew to drain it out eventually. And I was looking for solid mass, and I knew about myofibrillar growth. I knew that damaging muscles would grow these muscles because it's a triggering response. It would actually suppress myostatin. Getting damaged muscles, micro injury muscles, whatever, it would actually suppress the myostatin hormone. So now that it's suppressed, what do you have to do? Well, that again, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. There's still a breakdown and damage. There's dead tissue going away. You're building new muscle. The reason why you have to wait so long to build those muscles in that week, well, protein synthesis is extended, blood levels are elevated. So the first thing that comes out that first day is the macrophage. It comes out, cleans up all the dead tissue. Now it binds up, the satellite cell binds up with the T cells. They start building, they start multiplying, building and rebuilding, building new muscle fibers, cracks in the domes, and more myofibrillar growth. That is the whole point, and massing up the fibers at the same time. That will take over a week period, is the shortest time. Why do I say 7 days? But I mean 7 days you being in an anabolic growth state, you not breaking down anything. In other words, these people who were burn victims, they fed them 36 eggs. Why did they feed them 36 eggs? Well, they were in a hospital bed. That was the easiest way to get the best quality of what you would call a nutrient, protein, high protein nutrient diet filled with minerals and vitamins, what they need to rebuild this burn that they had on their body. And so without interference, they would be in an anabolic growth state. If you're in an anabolic growth state, there's nothing interfering with you that is going to suppress growth. So you're going to keep growing all the time, regardless of what you do. Now, I didn't opt for just mass on my myofibrillar. I probably could have got big really fast just building up mass. No, I really wanted to build myofibrillar growth because I knew eventually if that mass was to go away at some point or wouldn't maintain it or something, I wanted to be left over with at least some muscle. And I noticed that I relatively was over always around 245 pounds. So the highest I ever got was 280 maybe or something, 285. But I would settle down to about 245 and it would stay there all the time at 245. That's it. I mean, I got down to 250 at some point. I remember being 250, 250, 250. But again, I stayed like a solid weight at 245 all the time, 245. And that I could make, and that was maintained by just eating 3 meals a day. Yeah, I just stayed because that is myofibrillar growth, what the leftover is. See what I mean? So yeah, I don't know how to explain that in a better.
Did that for over a year, over 20 years ago. Why? We didn't have Google Scholar. We thought so.
We did. We had Yahoo and a bunch of other. We had Yahoo and a bunch of other web pages, Elite Fitness. We had anabolics.com. We had everything, bro. They had everything on the net. They were pumping out stuff faster than you can say hello.
Supplements worked. We heard about them nonsense. All the magazines told us about it. All the experts, all the coaches, all the athletes, all the power lifters, all the bodybuilders told us. Okay, this is 20.
I didn't know anything about powerlifting in that day. Never even heard about it. I saw bodybuilders all the time on magazines, like lifting heavy weights, squatting heavy shit. Some guy breaking his knees, squatting. I don't know. I didn't see anything about powerlifting, and it was never popular in any gym that I ever went to. Not in the US and not in Canada. There were no powerlifting platforms, these like wooden weird platforms where people could throw weights up and down. They didn't have any of that. And even to this day in some gyms, they don't like powerlifting. So these kids in the corner, they'll just try to bounce their weight on the regular floor up and down like yo-yos. They won't put down the weight. They want to drop it and just lift it and drop it. And that's a no-no in most gyms. The owners and the people there, they don't like that. You're destroying their equipment, the weight, the bar, and everything, doing that shit. It doesn't get you anywhere. Lifting a heavy weight does not build your body. But if you want to get better at lifting something heavy, yeah, sure, you can do that. Yeah, like boxes in a factory.
23. You guys can go look and see what the best experts say who aren't in the industry. You can look at the research. Okay? You guys, right?
Can you imagine lifting your entire life like this guy right here and never building his body, always faking it, like steroids, this, that? And look at him in his little shirt. He's tiny. His arms are small. He never built any myofibrillar growth, not even mass on his body. Like there's no mass or myofibrillar growth. What is the point of doing all this if you're not really building your body bigger and stronger? There is a benefit to having more myofibrillar growth and getting more nuclei. That will definitely extend your lifespan and the satellite cell pool. That is the whole point. In bodybuilding, the whole point is to get more of these satellite cells, man, and nuclei. People, I don't know, majority of people do know this. I don't say everybody. If they don't investigate, they just think, oh, muscle. They don't think about the other stuff behind it, what's causing it, what's making it. They're not intelligent enough to investigate what the hell they're doing there.
Now, you're like, oh, this guy's trying to sell me branched chain amino acids.
It's like a factory worker working for a slave for slave money, and then one day he's crippled, and all he had enough was to pay his rent and food, and now he has nothing to show for it. And he walks around. He goes, "But I worked really hard. I had a job and everything." Meanwhile, he's poor, living in a garage like Blaha, and it's like, then everybody's like, "Where's your money?" "Oh, I spent it," because he never really made any money. He got slave pay to lift heavy boxes all day and destroy his body. That's crazy.
I'm going to go Google and see if this has research on it. Oh, two meta-analysis said it doesn't do shit. What's a meta-analysis? Let me go Google what a meta-analysis is. Oh, meta-analysis, the highest tier of scientific study. Oh, this means that they took 27 different studies looking at branched chain amino acids.
I have a meta-analysis for you, Jason. People like you chronically lifting these heavy weights, after 60, they end up in a walker and a push cart and a walker and a cane. They're crippled. Look at Ronnie Coleman. Look at a bunch of other bodybuilders. I'm not saying all of them are completely crippled themselves. They definitely cannot run, and they can't play. They're not good at sports. They're terrible. They're weak. They can't do any sports. They can't do anything. What is the purpose of lifting? Going to a gym, if you can't use it for anything other than lifting a heavy weight repetitively in a gym, you think that that is fun for people? That is not exciting or fun. Fun and excitement is doing things like sports, swimming, running, playing ball in the park, like being active. See what I mean? Not just lifting a heavy weight, you know? That's why people like arm wrestling. They like different stuff, bro. They don't lift heavy stuff off the floor all day.
27 studies compared the notes and compiled and compared all of them to look for where they agreed and disagreed. And if they disagreed, they had to find the cause. What was the difference in the research that made the studies disagree? Why did 21 of them say they don't do shit and 6 of them said they did something?
I never saw those meta-analyses. That what they did in the magazines, they would show information that they had no effect or effect. It's where you got most of your information, through magazines, for quite a while, actually. People would read them. They had information on the internet, though.
We need to figure out why. We're going to analyze the difference in the data collection.
Why? Because they don't work. They're not meant to build muscle. Food is very specific food. Your real diet does.
Okay.
So why, when you take steroids and you go off it, everything that you developed goes away? Really relatively quick, within after a year even. Definitely circulates in your blood for a whole year. So that crap will maintain it for a whole year. But after a year, it just disappears. Why? And they get smaller than when they started. Why is that?
In 2023, there is no excuse because you all have, like a computer I'm on now, you got these things connected to the internet and you can access every study known to man. You can go look, oh, the top experts are saying multivitamins don't do shit.
Because they're synthetic, they don't work. A multivitamin. What's a multivitamin going to do? Man, you get vitamins in your natural diet, obviously, if you're eating plants. And anyways, multivitamins can be toxic.
The best researchers and scientists in the world are saying multivitamins don't do shit.
They're toxic.
Therefore, you don't have any excuse because you're not reading a magazine, Flex magazine.
How can a tiny pill build a muscle? That's just weird.
As your primary source of info in that book Arnold Schwarzenegger wrote.
Everybody knows that energy creates matter. That energy that you need is protein, and you need a lot of it to create matter. Without that, you're creating shit, bro.
The modern encyclopedia, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding, that was like our Bible. 25 years.
I don't know. I never read his book. Never looked at it. I knew there was he did a bunch of exercises in there. What does that have to do with muscle growth? Doing exercise. What the fuck are you talking about?
Years ago, that was like the Bible of lifting. Like that was the gospel right there, straight from.
No, it wasn't. Don't lie. Nobody gave a shit about that. People looked in magazines and were watching these other bodybuilders, and they'd have a section in Muscle Mag all the time showing you the exercises. And the midsection, people would buy just for looking at that. Yeah, they had different exercises, variations of exercises. People thought, well, the variations are what build muscles. Doing these exercises, no, that didn't build muscle. These supplements, they build muscles. Yeah, and all that. People quickly found out that it didn't build anything, so they quit. People drop off of everything that doesn't work for them after a while. You get the smart ones that drop off. They're the crazy ones. They still stay there forever. Like you, Blaha. You stayed here forever, repetitively lifting and lifting hell without ever building your body. Yeah. You have some low body fat, but that's meaningless, man.
Jesus, given down by God Himself. It's a gospel. That's what we had. Flex Magazine told us what supplements to buy. We didn't have Google Scholar. We didn't have PubMed. We didn't have the findings of the most current researchers looking at vitamins.
But you had GNC. They were around for quite a while.
And minerals and saying they don't do anything. These multivitamins. Hey, maybe D3's been overrated. Hey, creatine actually seemed to be beneficial, but less beneficial than we thought it was for 20 years. Oops, newer data. We've been able to study it closer. You have access.
Yeah, that just helps push water in your muscles to create phony water muscles. Yeah. They promoted a lot. Listen, they promoted all the stuff that would build phony muscles like carbs. They tell you to eat a lot of complex carbs. They promoted that as a mass builder. It is a mass builder. A fake mass builder, and creatine and a bunch of other stuff that would pump water in your muscles.
All of that. There is zero reason to be scammed. You all have one of these. You can look it all up. You can look up all the research. You can look at what the top experts who don't work for the supplement industry or the bodybuilding or fitness industry, you can look at.
You could go to the gym, eat your 3 meals a day, and go to the gym and live forever and never build a muscle on 3 meals a day. Because 3 meals a day do not build muscles, and neither do weights or gyms.
Up.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, my 17 favorite influencers told me to take branched chain amino acids, but 2 meta-analysis said they don't do anything. All the top experts in the world who aren't being paid by companies that make branched chain amino acids who aren't on their payroll are all saying they don't do anything. Well, maybe I shouldn't buy this. Maybe I shouldn't buy this Turkestone just because Derek told me to buy it. Or Greg Doucette said, oh, you should buy this Turkestone. Because that's not how he talks.
Yeah, Greg Doucette says testosterone. It's going to build a muscle. And GM something that he's selling their GMO, some bullshit, whatever. Yeah, man. They're all selling it. You can buy these supplements. They're going to build the muscle. He's just continuing in that fad, and everybody's going to buy it because they're stupid.
Introducing our smallest Virtuo machine ever. Now you can brew multiple sizes of coffee, hot or iced.
Buy this Turkestone. Go do some research. You have access to all of it. There is zero reason for a single human being to be scammed. Because
You too, Jason. You take TRT, don't you? Testosterone replacement, something with steroids, man. How are they working for you? Because they don't look like they're working very well. You need to get your money back, bro.
we have access to the research, there is no reason for the supplement industry to even exist anymore. You don't have excuses. It's all there. I can go look all of it up. That's why I know this stuff doesn't work. I have access to Google.
Well, I don't know why, because you tried all of them and they never worked.
And PubMed. And Nature. And
Nature?
the New
I like what he said, nature. He doesn't live within nature. He's so detached from nature.
England Journal of Medicine, right? We have access to these things. And if I have access to them, all of you do. There is no excuse other than sheer fucking ignorance to buy supplements anymore. The whole industry
Well, I have to agree with that for sure.
needs to just go away. It's a scam. There's like 3 supplements that work. There's like 3, maybe 2.5.
Dry egg protein. I think in Asia they sell like what is it? Chicken protein. Yeah, actually made from real chicken. Yeah, it's ground down to a powder. And I don't know. You could stick it into a blender and drink it. Mix it with something and drink it. Yeah, that actually is pretty good.
1 or 2, 3, 4 that are situationally effective. You know, like if you're pregnant or you have specific cardiovascular risk factors. And outside of these few things, it doesn't need to exist. The whole thing's a scam. And if you're buying this stuff other than protein powders, if you're buying this stuff, you literally have no excuse. There is zero excuse other than I'm just too fucking stupid, ignorant, and lazy to pick up and look at any research to see if this stuff actually works. Not the stuff the supplement people are sending me. Let me just go do my own independent research. Let me see what actual scientists are saying about it who study it. There's no excuse. This stuff shouldn't even exist. And the fitness influencers who are selling it, there's no excuse.
They also tell you in NCBI and PubMed, dude, that lifting a heavy weight doesn't build a muscle. Yeah.
Other than you are a thief and a con man. That's it. That's it.
Is that what you're promoting? Lifting a heavy weight, tension builds a muscle, this, that builds a muscle. You too are promoting a con by promoting all these things, telling people they build a muscle, when in fact they don't really build real muscles. They build fake muscles, inflammatory muscles, inflammation in the muscles. That's what they build. And some sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, maybe some loading, unloading. That's all artificial, bro.
The only possible excuse. Because you guys know how to make videos, so I know you're smart enough to fucking read. Okay? If you can figure out how to upload a YouTube video and to use a camera, you know how to fucking read. Therefore, you're a con man.
I do. I'm not a con man, and I don't promote supplements. I don't know what you're talking about. But I know you're a con man trying to con people and believing that lifting a heavy weight and tension and all this weird stuff that you're saying there is going to build a muscle, a rep, a tension, a heavy weight. All these movements are going to build a muscle, and they'll build zero. So who's the con man, bro? I've never conned anybody on my channel. That's why I'm not popular, because I tell them the truth of how muscles build. I tell them protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. That's what builds muscle. If it ain't exceeding that, it's not building any mass or even myofibrillar growth if you're doing something specific. I tell them there's a myonuclear domain size limit. There's no more growth there if you're not getting donation of these nuclei. They synthesize protein. Plus, I tell them about the repeated bout effect phenomena. There's no more damage after repeated bouts. You're not damaging muscles. So what exactly are you getting there? The question is, you never explain how to get over the repeated bout effect or myonuclear domain size limit. These problems are all inhibitions. There are so many obstacles when it comes to building muscle, but only one will get you over all 3 of them. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. So what is the secret to building muscle? Oh, damn, the secret's out, bro. Shit.
Because there's no way you haven't gone and researched products that you're trying to sell.
Why would they research the products like Greg Doucette, what he's trying to sell? He's trying to make money off stupid people because he knows there's a sucker born every minute out there. Young people are searching for that magic pill. They'll fly off the shelf. I told you, if there was a pill out there that would anti-age you, it'd fly off the shelf, like NMN. Started flying off the shelves like you can't even imagine, bro. Yeah. Even though they say it doesn't really equate to longevity, but it does give you a young body, apparently. It has worked because I've been researching it for years, watching people. They did turn younger. They look younger taking NMN. I don't know. I don't know about longevity, but definitely gives you a younger body. Well, that's because the repair mechanism is kind of brought up to par, right? Because your repair mechanism is going down over time. The number one organ to longevity is muscle. Yeah. Anyways.
Unless you're just stupid. And then people are taking advice from stupid people. All right, am I ready?
No, the people are stupid taking advice from con men that are smarter than them. Yeah, like you. People are taking advice from you, con man. I'll see you in the next one, my friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Yeah, supplement industry exists. Only because crazy consumers believe that there's a magic pill out there that's going to build you a muscle. In the end of the day, even if you are powerlifting, lifting, whatever it is that you're doing, bodybuilding, this, that, whatever, I don't know. You really want to, your whole goal really was when you came to the gym, you wanted to build muscle because you wanted to get stronger. You wanted to get bigger to get stronger. But at some point, you gave up because you got a newbie gain. And then the repeated bout effect kicked in. You weren't getting any more of this. See, you're growing when you're young. You're young. Your body's really growing when you're young. Everything's really working together. No matter what you're eating whatever you're eating in your body, these are the best years you have. The problem is you can't get over the repeated bout effect phenomena. You don't know why it's not working for you. You get it the first time you come into the gym, but then it disappears. But again, people start associating this pain called DOMS with something being negative when actually it's something positive if you can get it. And now you need to build your body. Take that time out to allow your body to grow. Like, look, you as a teenager growing up or a young person, when do you grow? When you're at home, asleep, in bed. And that growth happens at exponentially, relatively a slow period. You don't just like grow and grow and grow. You're growing, but it's coming on, it's coming on. You need time. You need to sleep, eat, sleep to grow. You don't grow in gyms, constantly busting your ass, busting your muscles or whatever, breaking proteins down. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, man. Ciao, I gotta go. That was interesting.